I'm going to try to live on $5 a day for 30 days. And if I fail, I could die. See, Americans spend $2.12 trillion on food every single year. That just isn't compatible with my own financial goals. That's because I'm trying to reach financial freedom before I turn 30 years old. And I'm a frugal guy, so I don't buy a lot of things that a lot of other people do. But I'm still human. I can't just stop buying food. I mean, humans can go without almost any other purchase. I don't spend any money on cable and streaming services. I don't buy new clothes all of the time. I don't even own a car. But I can't stop buying food. Since there's no getting around the fact that I have to buy food to survive, I have to minimize my expense on this category. So, new mission. I'm challenging myself to live on less than $5 a day for 30 days. And the stakes are high. I mean, I'm not actually going to starve myself just for YouTube views, but I literally use this channel to teach other people how to reach financial freedom. If I can't beat my own savings challenge, I risk ruining my credibility. And if my credibility is ruined, then nobody will hit the like button or subscribe to the channel. And if nobody does either of those things, I'll never get monetized. And if I never get monetized, the hundreds of hours I've spent on videos will all be wasted, and I won't get any closer to financial freedom. I can't let that happen. But before I start my $5 a day challenge, I've set just 2 rules for myself. That's because, as important as financial freedom is, it's not more important than my health. So, rule number 1 is that I have to eat 2,500 calories a day. If I'm not getting the fuel I need to eat more. But calories aren't the only thing that matters. This challenge would be easy if all I ate were buttered noodles for every meal. But that's not exactly a balanced diet. That's why rule number 2 is that I have to eat fruit, vegetables, and protein every single day. I'm still a pretty active guy, which means I need all of those nutrients to keep myself going and healthy. So, tomorrow is the first day of the challenge. Let's see if I can make it. Okay, so how am I actually planning on living for less than $5 a day? Well, in preparation for this challenge, I paid much closer attention to what I actually spend. Just taking 2 seconds to look at price tags can make a huge difference. For example, I really like both apples and bananas. But bananas are just 19 cents each, which is just a lot cheaper. But which fruit I choose isn't nearly as important as my source of protein. I'm still a competitive athlete, so I need a lot of protein, and eating meat is one of the best ways to get enough. But the price difference between different sources of protein is absolutely enormous. I mean, just take a look at the difference between the price of chicken and the price of steak. Another common source of protein is eggs, which have long been a staple of my diet. But when I compared the price of eggs to the price of beans, it just didn't make sense to pay so much. And of course, when I think of a cheap food budget, one of the first things that comes to mind is rice. At $1 a pound, it's pretty hard to beat. So my initial diet is going to be built heavily around these findings. I'll be relying heavily on rice, beans, chicken, and bananas. So, what does all of that add up to? Well, my first shopping trip was just over $40, but I'm not sure how long all of this food will last. To live on $5 a day, I need it to last a little more than a week, but we'll just have to see. Now, you might have noticed that some of these prices are way higher than what you yourself pay, and there's a reason for that. The first reason that food prices are so high is because I live in Northern Virginia. And it's not just food that's expensive where I live, it's just a very expensive area and much more expensive than the average American city. And to make things worse, I don't own a car. Luckily, I do live within walking distance of 2 different grocery stores. But unfortunately, those grocery stores are Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, otherwise known as Whole Paycheck. Those stores aren't exactly designed for savings challenges. So if I can survive on $5 a day, I'm pretty sure that just about anybody can. But it won't be easy, and you might have to change some of your habits. For example, it should go without saying that I'm not going to be eating out this month. The average price of a prepared meal is $13, which means I could only afford like 11 meals before running out of money. Considering the average American spends over $3,000 a year on prepared food every single year, This is a big part of my savings, but it's not the only thing that I'm cutting out. There are some things that people buy that they really just don't need, and to live on less than $5 a day, I'm going to have to go without them. First up, I'm not buying any sweets. Candies and desserts are extremely expensive, but you don't need them in your diet. Cutting out these purchases is healthy for me and for my wallet. Second, one of the easiest ways to save money is just by drinking water. Tap water is effectively free, and it saves me a lot of money on sugary juices and things like that. So it's the only thing I drink. Another way that I'm hoping to live on less than $5 a day is by doing a ton of meal prep. For one, it's just really efficient and means I don't have to do a lot of cooking throughout the week. But it also helps me avoid expensive temptations. My basic meal is going to be kidney beans and rice, which is really easy to make. I can even mix those ingredients together in just one pot, which is super convenient. Given that I live with 3 other roommates, that's very helpful. I'm going to add vegetables and chicken to make sure I'm getting all of the nutrients I need. And after adding the flavorings of your choice, you've got a big pot of food made with super cheap ingredients. I mean, check this out. That's a lot of food, but it costs just over $2. I'm hoping that that's cheap enough for this challenge. Okay, everyone, I've got some bad news. I added up everything that I've consumed over the first 15 days of my challenge, and I'm over $9 over budget. That means these last 15 days could be really tight. I haven't lost hope yet, though. Even though I'm almost 2 days over budget, there are some changes that I can make. For one, I'm going to be eating a lot more pasta. Pasta is just $1 a pound, which is the same as rice. But through experimentation, I've realized that pasta makes me way more full. Finding really filling meals is super important because there are some things that I could just eat an unlimited amount of. If you find yourself snacking all of the time, you could be burning a hole in your wallet. Plus, it's just unhealthy. Second, I'm going to be eating a lot more raw vegetables. I've been adding frozen vegetables to my meals, but raw vegetables are even cheaper. Generally, the more work that you have to put in, the cheaper it will be. Buying bread at a restaurant will be very expensive, but buying bread at a grocery store will be much cheaper. If you buy flour and the other raw ingredients yourself, you could make it for even cheaper than that. And there's one other way that I might be able to stay under my spendings target. Every month, my company hosts a large division get together, and they always provide free lunch. Free food is the best food. So hopefully, between changes to my diet and a free lunch, I think I might be able to stay under $150 for the month. But before we fast forward in time to see if I succeeded, I need to tell you why this video is so important. Every year, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average American family spends $8,000 a year on food. That makes food the third largest expense category, after just housing and transportation. Using the 4% rule of thumb, which says that you need 25 times your annual expenses before you can safely retire, you would need $200,000 just to support this $8,000 annual expense on food. But if I can survive on $150 a month, I'd only be spending $1,800 a year. To support these food costs in retirement, I'd only need $45,000 invested. And given how expensive food is in the area that I live, that might even be a lower number if I decided to move. Spending way less than the average American is the reason that I'm on track to retire at 29 instead of in my 60s. So savings challenges like this are extremely important. But to make sure that I'm actually on track, I need to know what I actually spend. Did I succeed in spending less than $5 a day for 30 days? Let's ask me from the future. Hey, it's future me, and the answer is no, I failed. At the end of 30 days, I'd spent $158.16. For those wondering, that averages out to $5.27 every day. I was really bummed out by this, and it sort of surprised me. I mean, I pride myself on my ability to save, and I know that this challenge is possible. But even though the original intent of this video was to help people reduce their food budget, I realized that maybe there was a more important lesson, one that even I needed to learn. The lesson is that no matter how good of a plan you think you have, you have to actually measure the results. It's fine to say that, in theory, you're on track to reach financial freedom, but the numbers don't lie. And it's not enough to just record your expenses. I already do that. You have to actually look back at them and then use that data to inform your future decisions. And you can bet that I'll be taking lessons learned from this strategy and using them to make my expenses even lower. And for me, my food expenses are just one of the many categories that I track. To reach financial freedom at 29 years old, it's not enough to just save money at the grocery store. In fact, I recently dedicated an entire video explaining my plan for retiring early, where I talked about how much I earn, how much I save, and my investing projections. You can find that video right here. I hope you'll check it out next, and hopefully I don't end up $8.16 short.